In Britain, last weekend we celebrated 60 years of the National Health Service. On, I think it was July the 5th, 1948, the National Health Service started, and from then on, healthcare, with a few exceptions, was free at the point of delivery. Not free at the point of delivery. It's paid for by taxation. So, but the point is that no one is refused treatment because they haven't got the money. And there were a lot of programs about the anniversary, and it was explained that before the health service started, say in 1947, there was an interview with the first baby born under the National Health Service, and that it was explained that before the health service, if someone became pregnant, her father would take on a second job. So he would work by day and then do another job in the evening to pay for the hospital admission. And that was a revelation. I'd never had to think about that, but that happened. And I was reminded of that last night. I was with some friends. We had a meal, and then the host put on the film Sicko. Now, I hadn't bothered to see Sicko. I'd seen some clips of it on here. I've seen some Michael Moore films, but I just didn't get around to watching this. But there was a scene in it, and a woman explained to President Bush that she had 3 jobs, and he said, "You've got 3 jobs? Wow, isn't that uniquely American?" And what he meant by that was that American people are hardworking and self-reliant. But I thought back to the way things were in Britain in the 1940s, and I thought America is unique in that people have to do more than one job so they can pay for their health care. But I don't really want to talk too much about the film because it's been out for quite a while, and a lot of the issues have already been addressed. But what I thought was fantastic in it was an interview with Tony Benn. And for an American audience, I should explain that Tony Benn is a retired Labour politician who was a minister in the 60s, early 70s. And he's as left-wing as they come in Britain, very much a socialist. And from what I know of America, I think he would probably be hated by a lot of people on the right if he was in America. But he's very much admired in Britain by people of all parties, because it's so clear he has such moral authority. It's so clear that he works, has always worked, for the people who elected him. You just could not imagine that he would take money from a company and vote in their interests rather than the interests of his the people who elected him. He's got you can see from the talk that he's got far too much integrity for that, and he's a wonderful man, I think, Tony Benn. But the interview with Michael Moore is very good. He talks about healthcare, but he also talks about democracy, and a lot of people on the right in America would think that someone who is a socialist is not interested in democracy, that if they got into power they would cancel elections and stay in power forever. But you can see from when Tony or what a terrible mistake that is. When Tony Benn talks about democracy, he talks with real passion, and he says that it's important that the ordinary people get out and vote, and that the elite business people and such probably don't want everyone to get out and vote, but democracy gives us that power, and he expresses himself very, very well, much better than I can. So yeah, I'll provide the link, of course.